Buenas tardes a todos, muchas gracias por su paciencia. Ahora simplemente haremos un pequeño acto de
Thank you for your patience. This is just a closing ceremony. No, sorry, we don't have any sound back here.
To have the words of Dr. Arón Fuentes, and later on, sorry, I'm missing the names because we're not having sound in the booth. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. I want to appreciate the invitation of Pablo, and also appreciate the association and all the organizers, because we've been in a meeting that is very valuable. I want to tell you that we started at the University in Guadalajara to do regional input-output analysis in the 90s. And in those days, out of the few people who understood what an input-output matrix was about, they started to roar with laughter. So they decided to find an estimate method for Jalisco, and they thought it was a joke. They thought it wasn't going to be possible. And those that didn't understand, I remember it was a press release, and a journalist came to me and said, well, tell me specifically what a matrix is, because for me, a matrix is a letter. So I can't understand what you're saying. How can a letter have so many classifications? Explain that to me, please. Since then, we were dreaming. It was a personal dream that I can now see materialize, that of course there's still a lot to be done. We were dreaming of having these kind of meetings where one day, that was 20 years ago, we were dreaming that one day we could come together to talk to each other, to dialogue, to get to know each other, to be able to be integrated within a community like this one, such a pleasant community, full of people with the same common interests. So I want to briefly say that it has been a very lengthy path. It has been very difficult. It is difficult for the scholars in the central part of the country that they have more budgets. They have an easier situation, I think, because of this. For us in Jalisco, it was actually very difficult. We got funding from the National Council of Science and Technology, and thanks to that, we were able to estimate matrices we calculated one from 1990, for 93, for 1906, for the year 2000, for 2005, and we also estimated one for 2008. We're on the verge of presenting the results. We did the first regional matrix in Mexico, comprising 4 states in the central occidental region: Jalisco, Colima, Michoacán, and Nayarit. And based on that, as of there, we have opened the pathway, and we have created the pathway as we walk, as the poet says. And I'm quite happy about this. I want to congratulate you and congratulate myself for being here, that we may now be able to be talking in different terms, that we can come together. Thank you very much to the initiatives of Dr. Noé for the creation of the National Association that allows us a much better framework for a joint work. I think that we still have a lot to do. We don't know each other very well yet. I think I've discovered a lot of things here that I ignored of the same work that is done nationally. And well, I hope that in 2015 we can be in better conditions in order to receive the international meeting, the international conference here. Thank you very much.
Now it's my turn. Good afternoon. Well, just to, I'd rather, read a small message, a few brief words, and I'd like to begin by saying, dear friends, I'm very thankful on behalf of the institutions and participating associations to all of you here present. Thank you for your dedication, your intelligence, your imagination, and your passion. And all these qualities which you've put into this work. Thank you also to our co-organizers, the INEGI, the School of Economics of the UNAM. Also, I'd like to thank Dr. Pablo Nápoles, who has taken leadership in this international conference of the Input-Output Association for 2015, which will take place in Mexico City. And also, of course, to all of those who allowed us to use this Dr. Ignacio Chavez seminar unit. The selfless contributions from all these institutions and people have allowed us to raise victorious from all the difficulties that this event all the difficulties this event faced. We also want to thank everyone who shared their wisdom. Your participation has been very valuable since you have shed light on the on ways of interpreting interdependency in the economy. We thank all the participants for your hard work. Now, as hosts of the 2015 Input-Output Conference, we'll put this idea on the table. However, we must note that the members of the Mexican Association of the Input-Output Association will support our colleagues from the UNAM to ensure that this event is a success. Friends, with the satisfaction of having made a significant step forward in the organization of the 23rd conference, and sad because I am saying goodbye, but happy because there are possibilities of continuing to working forward, I hereby declare this workshop ended. Well, good afternoon. On my behalf, I just want to give a couple of messages. One is to thank everyone here, the people who were listening. Thank you for everything this means for the knowledge of the input-output matrix. The presentations on this of this workshop and the videos will all be available on the website of the INEGI. There's a page for this workshop. All the recordings will be uploaded to this in your folder that we gave you. There's an evaluation sheet. It would be great to get feedback on the quality of the presentations and the organization of the workshop. And finally, I'd just like to pass the floor to Pablo Ruiz. It's not that I wanted to close with a few golden words, but the session for many of us continues tomorrow, because the main motive of all this is to try and present a proposal accepted by several local organizations so that in 2015 we may host the international conference of the Input-Output Association in Mexico City. So we are still creating the proposal. Tomorrow we'll begin the discussion. It's a long way, but we hope to get the support from all those who have promised this and those who haven't promised it yet, but who will hopefully do this. I'd like to sincerely thank the support of the INEGI, aside from Professor Virginia Bream, who is here, who is a high-ranking official at the INEGI, but allowed us to shine. But there's a lot of work behind these efforts, and part of this effort was done by Virginia. Another important part that you saw is the work done by Ricardo Rodriguez Lopez, who is a colleague from the School of Economics, and it's been wonderful to work together in this organization. Aside from these two people, we've had the support from the interpretation services from Tlatoli, a company. Well, there's been a few mistakes, perhaps, but they've worked on. Also, the general direction for works and services have supported us with the sound. We thank Diego Cordera for this, and the person in charge of managing this area, which is a seminar unit of the UNAM, also was very helpful. We thank them for their support and all the staff behind their work. Of course, Miriam Garcia Soto. They've done some very important work, and of course Eduardo Moreno, who's even worked as a driver. Thank you all for being here, and everyone else, we'll see you tomorrow.